say a few words about nutrition, and I'll comment on it. Before you get to nutrition, you have to understand that nutrition is part of an overall picture of well-being. You don't look at the body in isolation and nutrition, how this works, that works. You have to look at the composite picture. Nutrition is an extremely important component of your lifestyle, but there are other factors that make nutrition more effective in the things you want it to be effective in. Nutrition, for starters, proper nutrition, goes a long way toward helping us cope with the stress, problems, and reality of life. It's an important factor in that. Good nutrition, combined with other things we'll mention, will help you lead a longer and happier and more productive life. That's a very important aspect of nutrition. In contemporary society, eating the right foods, proper nutrition, along with the other factors, definitely will help you fight off stress, pollution in the environment, and a lot of other factors. It's probably one of the single most important things in your life, is good nutrition. I always ask people, when I talk to them, individually, I say, you know, I want you to think, what's the single most important, come on in.
Hi.
I always say, what is the single most important thing you own? And this one will say a car, and this one will say that, and they're all wrong. The most important thing you own is your mind and your body. And to get the maximum benefit from the use of your mind and body, nutrition and some other factors we'll touch on play a very important and integral role. Nutrition basically is important because it's one of the stepping stones to good health. And good health is important because if you're healthy, it gives you the freedom and the ability to do a lot of things that some people unfortunately can't do. Good nutrition will help give you a sense of balance and a feeling of well-being, combined with the other little things we're going to mention. It will definitely help you have a sharper mind, more productive, and more active. But good nutrition is like putting gasoline, top-grade fuel in a car. It only works as well as the rest of the engine is tuned right down to the level of physiology and cells and a lot of other things. So you have to bear in mind that a person that sits on that couch and does nothing but have good nutrition is not going to lead a healthy, well-balanced life. You have to be active physically and mentally to get the benefit of nutrition and allow your body to get the benefit of nutrition. You've got to have a program that ensures that you get mental exercise, you do challenging things with your brain, and physical exercise. I don't care what your job is if you think you're working hard. That doesn't count. You got to have a program that you design that suits your personality and your lifestyle that ensures that you get physical exercise on a regular basis as many times a week as you can do it. That is a very important factor in ensuring that if you've got good nutrition, your body is really going to get the benefit of it. It's going to be able to utilize it right down to the cellular level. Because just eating good food by itself, while it's important, that's about one-half the battle. Other factors are just as important. A bad diet and good lifestyle is better than a good diet and a wasted type of lifestyle doing nothing. Now, what types of foods constitute good nutrition? That's a very complex question in contemporary society because everybody leads a fast-paced life and you like things fast and ready and this and that. But you have to go back a little bit, like about 2 million years. When human beings appeared, their genetic structure was geared to the hunter-gatherer concept. They gathered food, they hunted food, etc., etc. Your body basically is structured to eat natural, unprocessed foods. That's what it can accommodate the best, and that's where you get the maximum benefit. So the general rule is, it's not an absolute, because everything milk gets processed. The less processing, probably the more benefit to your body. So buying processed foods, you're going to buy a certain amount, you can't avoid it, is definitely not as advantageous as natural, unprocessed foods. That's the first thing. I'm going to go over a few of the things that you should look for. You know, basically what to eat. But just before I get to that, I'll mention briefly, but we're not here to go into a lot of things. So you've got good nutrition and exercise and mental, physical and mental being important. Those are the key ingredients, but there's a few other ingredients, and Cerise probably is familiar with some of those. You have to have a spirituality to your life that brings balance into it all. Very, very important. I'm not talking about a religious spirituality. I'm talking about an internal sense of self-worth, respect for the human condition, etc. Those are all important factors if you're going to be as healthy as possible. That's a component of everything else, along with nutrition, etc. So what types of foods, and I've already told you generally, should a person concentrate on? So processed foods, although they're a necessary evil, go to the bottom of the list. The fancy processed meats and sugary drinks and all these exotically processed things are not the best things for your body. We all have to eat them, and I'm the biggest sinner of all, believe me, I eat all that stuff. But you got to keep it to a minimal amount. The body needs a broad variety of foods. And of course, like everything in life, it's a question of moderation and balance. Number one on the list always has to be whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. You know that. I mean, anybody watches and reads knows that. But their importance is very, very critical. If you had nothing but those things to eat, you'd be a relatively healthy person if you did all the other things. Meat, yes, of course we stay away from anything with a high amount of saturated fat. Saturated fat, especially polyunsaturated fat, is the greatest threat to contemporary society for a lot of reasons. First of all, the biggest cause of death in the world, and particularly in civilized societies, is cardiovascular failure. Heart attacks, arterial collapse, things like that. And the greatest contributors to that, by far, are two things: saturated fats and lack of exercise. If you eat a lot of saturated fats and you don't exercise, you're knocking 20 years off your life. But more importantly, the quality of the years you do have is not going to be what it could be or should be. So a minimum of saturated fats and exercise. Polyunsaturated fats, yes, they're very important in your diet. Fish oils, etc., they're reasonable. You don't have to go wild on it, but they're very, very important. Saturated fats play a very important role in initiating the process of certain diseases. Alzheimer's has two components to it: a genetic component, but you can really speed it up if you eat a lot of saturated fats. Because studies done on Alzheimer's show 75% of the people that develop Alzheimer's have a problem with saturated fats and a high percentage of buildup in their blood system. So that is the killer of saturated fats. It triggers a lot of physiological diseases, and it's just generally unhealthy. You're going to eat some, you eat red meat, you get a little saturated fat. But the trick is the minimal amounts of that, because you have lots of viable alternatives. stay away from that sort of thing. The other important thing about eating is, besides moderation and control your calorie intake, is attempting to eat regular meals. Now, I'm the worst offender. I've never had a regular meal in my life, I don't think. But it's been proven in the studies they did that people that tend to eat regular meals, they have breakfast, lunch, etc., whatever the hours, eat regularly, moderate amounts of the right types of foods. Exercise your mind, exercise your body, and have a certain degree of spirituality, and the odds are, not only will you live a long time, but you'll be a lot sharper and healthier and get a lot more out of the years you're around. And that's basically it.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. Well, you know, you can't cover a topic like this. It could take 25 years of talking, and the science changes every day. But those are the general ground rules. And if you follow some of those, it will definitely help you live a longer, more productive life, and the earlier in life you start, the better. No such thing, well, I'm young, I don't have to worry. 5 years old, get the habits in them.
That's right.
Right off the bat. It's never too young.
That's right.
Get good habits. Exercise, critical. I know, well, I'm too busy, I haven't got time right now. It is more important than put a bike in front of your TV set. You've got to get regular exercise, because the best nutrition doesn't function at the cellular level if you're not oxygenating, exercising, the muscles are in good shape, your heart's getting exercise. That guarantees your best chance at longevity and good health. Okay? Thank you. Okay, I'll leave you in the capable hands of Cerise.
Thank you very much, Harvey.